Every business knows that true success comes from strong connections built and established over time. Whether it's a connection between you and your business partners or your company and your consumers. At Eastern Communications, we believe in a strong and personal connection. In prioritizing both our high-tech and our high-touch solutions, we bring back the human connection in the ever-expanding industry of information and communications technology. In doing so, we've amassed a wide array of various solutions designed to not only improve our clients' businesses, but to also create seamless experiences for their own customers. This is why customized solutions and strong connections matter so much to us. Keep your company files safe and secure through data centers and cloud services that allow easy access for your employees and are scalable to match the needs of your business. We understand just how important proper collaboration and communication are to the success of a business, which is why we can offer your company the proper tools needed to enhance collaboration efficiency, all while maintaining an agile and flexible network that is scalable to the size of your company. These collaboration tools are key to developing your business's continuity and are easily accessible at any time and from any device, all while maintaining the security your company needs. Speaking of security, no matter what stage of a cyber attack you are in, Eastern Communications will always ensure that your company is prepared with the help of the Cyber Defense Suite. From before the attack happens, during the time it's in progress, and even after it begins to damage systems and steal information, Eastern Communications is equipped with products and services for every phase. Eastern also provides relevant managed services that suit your company's needs. That way, you can better focus on running your business and leave the technical aspect up to us. Of course, every business needs reliable connectivity in order to maintain its day-to-day processes. Our world-class data services ensure the smoothest flow of data and information for your company. Together, we can help you create personalized networks that are well-suited for your company's specific needs, containing all of the benefits with none of the hassle. If it's internet you need, Eastern Communications Internet Services can provide your company with fast connections and high bandwidth availabilities. This way, you have access to flexible speeds and stronger connections to the internet. Lastly, we want to help you establish your own strong connections with your company's partners and customers. Eastern's voice services offers seamless solutions for your customer service needs and easily connects you to your customers. These are only some of the many solutions and services that Eastern Communications has established over the years for our many partners. And while we still have a long way to go, you can be sure that Eastern Communications will continue to be your partner and take you from where you are now to where you want to go. Together, we can all finish strong for our tomorrow.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As our businesses slowly bounce back from the year that was, Eastern Communications is here to ask you, are you ready to take a fearless leap forward?
The past year was difficult for our country, its people, and the businesses we've built to keep ourselves afloat. Even now, local enterprises all over the country are still struggling to bounce back and recover what they've lost while still dealing with the ever-present challenges caused by the pandemic's persistence. Challenges like acquiring new clients, meeting the needs of their current customer base, holding physical meetings, communicating with colleagues in different parts of the country, or even manufacturing, sourcing, and delivering their products and services. The truth is, Many businesses are unsure of how to keep up with the digital capabilities of other companies who are able to thrive because they can adapt their brick and mortar businesses to online platforms or create e-commerce spaces where they can still offer their services at the tap of a finger or a click of the button. In order to bounce back, it's crucial to transition to the digital space. We need a strong connection to a digital solutions provider that can help us take that fearless step forward. How can we adjust to the now normal? Where can we find the digital lifeline needed to give every business an equal footing in this new era of online spaces and technological solutions? As we continue to fearlessly transform and innovate, we must never lose sight of what makes our connections strong. Let Eastern Communications be that very digital lifeline for your company. In the past and up until today, Eastern's strong connections have been helping bridge the gap and empower businesses to upgrade their services in order to better serve their clients' evolving needs. Through our wide variety of high-tech products and solutions, your company can also adapt to the now normal. Which is why, during this difficult time, we want to remind you that you aren't alone. Together with Eastern Communications, let us open new doors and create wider avenues in the digital space. Together, we can all innovate and improve in order to fearlessly move forward and stride strong into a new digital frontier.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday to all of you. Kamusta po kayong lahat? I hope you're all well and safe wherever you are. My name is Ivana Pasis, and I will be your host for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and welcome to Leap Forward. Business empowerment for the now normal is Eastern Communications' way of reaching out to all of its partner clients to encourage and discuss with them the need for innovation and resilience. Eastern Communications seeks to empower local businesses across the country and be up to date with the latest best practices and technological trends. So today's topic is very, very interesting. We will be talking about business resilience and sustainability in property management. Wow. And we don't have just one, but we have two brilliant speakers today ready to discuss this with all of you. I can't wait to meet them in a while. But before anything else, make sure to take down some notes and, of course, send in your questions in our comment section below for the live Q&A later on. But today we will not just be learning a lot of things, but we will also be having some fun because you guys need to stay tuned for the digital raffle draws that we will be doing throughout the program. So watch out for that. Don't miss out on our digital raffle segments. And to officially start us off, here to give us a special message for all of our viewers, please welcome Eastern's Head of Sales Division, Mr. Michael Castañeda.
Thank you, Ivana. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending our Leap Forward series. After more than a year of pandemic, we're still struggling to adjust. Business needs have changed, and we continue to progress towards unusual territories. And it is imperative that we adjust to the now normal, such as maintaining social distance, wearing of face masks, and in our business, adapt to the changing processes. Business needs continue to evolve, requiring new and updated tools. Digital transformation has become an integral part of our now normal in business. It is critical to know the right tools and have the proper mindset to employ the accurate strategies to keep thriving, regain what we've lost, and compete in these exciting times. Alongside this, we've seen some positive effects of the pandemic. As most people work at home, pollution has been significantly reduced, and families now have stronger bond. This afternoon, we are happy to be with you as we continue to extend that bond to your clients and partners. The discussion on business resiliency and sustainability is a vital component as to how we can care for them and their well-being as we all work towards regaining and strengthening our stability. Eastern is striding forward to empower businesses with the aid of digital solutions to ensure connectedness and mitigate effects of isolation among employees. The Live Forward series is our way to support emerging businesses in the country as we offer timely topics and partnered with experts in their field to impart their knowledge, share their experiences, and support us in our challenges. Today, we aim to give you building administrators and property managers essential ideas that can possibly help improve your company's operations so that you can firmly move ahead in your own field of battle. So relax, experience Eastern's high-touch service, and remember that we will always be your strong connection. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael Castañeda, for that wonderful message. And now let us leap forward to our first speaker of the day. So our first speaker started her career in administration, design, and construction with more than 20 years of practice in vertical and horizontal development. Currently, she is the managing director for property management of NEO. Trained in project management, she helped lead NEO in receiving international and local recognitions. Her experience in value engineering, due diligence, and compliance has made her a compelling expert for today. Everyone, please welcome on your screens, Ms. Gie Garcia.
Good afternoon, everyone. First off, I'd like to thank Eastern Communications for inviting me to be a speaker in this webinar series and to share a brief background of NEO and its operations best practices. And to Ivana, thank you for that great introduction. NEO is a boutique developer with a portfolio consisting of 7 commercial buildings, all strategically located in Bonifacio Global City. As an owner, developer, and manager of dynamic workplaces, we promote health, safety, and well-being. Hence, NEO developed a mission, hashtag the NEO Way. The mission reflects our commitment and passion for community, sustainability, and innovation. Throughout the years, we've been designing commercial buildings that are focused on resilience and sustainability. We started in 2002 with 1 NEO and with 7 NEO in 2015 as the latest addition to the portfolio. I remember that it was around 2014 when Eastern Communication began to develop their infrastructure in our portfolio. A reliable and accessible telecommunications provider, for 7 years, Eastern Communication has been an accessible option for our NEO tenants. They were providing high-speed fiber optic broadband, internet, business continuity, and productivity solution. They also provided data protection and security and recently received a recognition in the IABC Philippine Quill Virtual Awards Night for their corporate initiatives. Similar to Eastern, we were able to achieve certifications and recognitions. NEO had a significant number of recognitions in the real estate industry. All 7 buildings are Verde certified with a 5-star rating under PhilGBC. The Department of Energy also recognized us in the Energy Efficiency Awards in the large building category. 3 of our 7 buildings piloted PhilGBC's Advancing Net Zero, all of which garnered 5-star ratings for energy efficiency. 7 NEO, on the other hand, also piloted Building Resiliency Index of IFC and received an A+ rating for resilience. We were also able to get IWI's Well and Health Safety rating for facilities and operations management for all of the 7 buildings. This is the first portfolio to be Well Health and Safety certified in Southeast Asia. Due to COVID-19, as a developer manager, we have to ensure that the tenants and its employees can confidently return to the office in the now normal. To get the well health and safety, we have to provide office spaces that are safe and healthy, following the protocols of the now normal. Constantly improve and innovate. With the pandemic, we all must become resilient through the challenging times. I'm sharing some of the best practices for disaster resilience in building management on the next slide. Perhaps most of the listeners are already implementing some of these initiatives, but I'll be glad to inspire the viewers with an item or two. Taking off from well health and safety rating, we've implemented vital health and safety measures compliant to the local, national, and international guidelines for preventing COVID-19 in the workplace. We have also prepared for other airborne diseases, respiratory diseases, by making most of these measures a permanent operational policy. We also reduced person to person interaction through the building automation by having self service stations for checking temperature and wearing a face mask in all of our main lobbies. Turnstile was also placed for security access controls. We also have shifted our talks to webinars covering topics such as COVID-19 health and safety protocols and annual emergency preparedness seminars. All of our tenants and employees are invited and are encouraged to attend these seminars. We have also adopted flexible working arrangements such as work from home. This was made possible by having a daily data backup on our own premise servers and cloud systems. In addition, the servers are connected to multiple internet connections for redundancy. This will ensure that any connectivity issues will not hamper the building operations. As I have previously mentioned, 7 Neo obtained an A+ rating for its building resilience, which covered its resiliency for natural hazards. It is very important that before construction, we have to consider the building location and the materials before constructing it. Concerning the national hazards present in the Philippines, we also conducted risk assessments of each threat, such as hazard frequency and possible financial and operational impacts. Then creating specific responses to specific scenarios to mitigate them or reduce the impact of the risk, thereby making the building resilient and it will operate good. For our sustainable building management, we are doing energy conservation by switching off unnecessary equipment during off-peak hours with the help of the building automation accessories such as timers and remote control access of our building management system. We're also conscious of our materials and consumables that we are procuring. Thus, we have a policy to procure only items that can help lower our carbon footprint in the operation. Another way of lowering our carbon footprint is by reducing our paper consumption. So we did digital transformation for our processes which previously involved paper consumption. During this pandemic, we have partnered with various service providers that help us with our digital transformation efforts to reduce our operational carbon footprint. So these are the services that we've availed and that property managers can consider to use in their operations. We have DocuSign as our signing platform, wherein all of the documents that need to be signed or approved are uploaded and routed to the corresponding signatories. Oracle's NetSuite, our digital accounting platform. Talox for Neo Leasing. Lundi by FlySpace for our employee health and monitoring. CADSys for property management software. These efforts are not just to digitalize, but to reduce carbon footprint, which is part of our sustainable commitments. Eastern Communication, on the other hand, can also help you with your digital transformation as they offer productivity and collaboration tools, cybersecurity, and cloud service, among other connectivity solutions. NEO's key commitments is to achieve net zero carbon for directly controlled assets by 2030 and net zero in operation by 2050. This commitment is made through the World Green Building Council. We've already made this a public commitment that aims to control global warming, and we do hope that everybody do so. Thank you again, Eastern Communication, for inviting me, and thank you to all the attendees. I hope I was able to inspire facilities and project managers to go beyond the conventional processes and be resilient to innovate. Let's also ensure that we provide safe buildings to occupants, focused not only on physical but its mental well-being as well. Good afternoon and thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gie Garcia, for that wonderful message. I'm sure every one of us are very much inspired by the sustainable ways and efforts that you do for Neo and of course for your tenants as a property manager. Thank you so much. And it's just so inspiring because as of now, a lot of people are taking part of taking care of our environment and fighting the global warming. And it's so inspiring again to hear from Miss Gie Garcia, and also how Eastern Communications became a part of the success of Neo. All right, I know we still want to hear more from Miss G, but guys, if you have any more questions for her, please send in your questions in our comment section below for our live Q&A later on. And before we move on to our second speaker of the day, we promise you a digital raffle. And of course, Eastern Communications is here to deliver. So for our first raffle draw, we have 3 lucky viewers who will be getting 1,000 pesos gift away voucher. Wow. So it's very easy lang. So when you see your name flash on the screen, all you have to do is take a screenshot and email it to marketing@etpi.com.ph with the subject line Eastern Building Admin Referral Program, as you can see on your screens right now. And make sure to include your details, your full name, your company, mobile number, and email address. So that easy, guys. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. Who is our first lucky winner? All right. There you go. We have Charlene Quijensio of 1 San Miguel Avenue Condominium. Our second lucky winner is Dustin Castillo from Asiana City and Trisha Joy Mejia from Vector Property Managers Inc. ICCP Group. Congratulations, everybody. You all each won 1,000 pesos gift away a voucher. And guys, don't worry if hindi nyo nakita yung names on the screens. Don't you guys worry because we still have a lot more digital raffle segments coming up. So abang-abang lang kayo dyan, guys. And now, it's time for our second speaker for the day. So our next speaker is a strategic segment marketing manager in Eastern Communications. Leveraging her previous experience in other industries such as telecommunications, advertising, FMCG, and so much more, she continues to develop her expertise as she handles the emerging business channel along with consumer marketing needs. She recently completed certification for Certified Digital Marketer, Introduction to Cybersecurity with Cisco, and Remote Work and Virtual Collaboration Professional with CertiProf. Oh my gosh. Everyone, please welcome on your screens, Miss Diana Crizel Montes.
Thank you, Ivana, at magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, mga ka-Eastern. As an Eastern representative for this episode, it is my pleasure to introduce to you technological advancements that can help us in our new ways of working in the now normal. But before that, I'd like to first share a bit about what challenges we currently face as a nation in relation to current work arrangements, about how the now normal looks like when it comes to workplace setups, and how facility managers play a role in not only making the building occupants feel safe, but also in making ease of business possible within their own organizations. We believe that feeling safe in the spaces we live and work in is at its utmost importance at this time. Let me share with you why it's crucial to safeguard our clients' physical safety as well as their mental well-being at the workplace, whether it's on-site or working from home. Here in the Philippines, the National Center for Mental Health has reported that calls regarding depression rose 500% from pre-pandemic period. That's 400 calls per month from 80. This is due to the many uncertainties that this health crisis has brought, including joblessness, cash flow issues, and of course, health concerns. On the one hand, PVP Inc. has reported that of those who work from home, 16% have experienced critical stress levels, 31% suffered from anxiety, and 22% had depression. It is said that working from home increases the likelihood of experiencing severe depression by up to 5 times. This can be associated to isolation, having to juggle work and household chores at the same time, not having a proper space for work, and even lack of exercise. It's also been found millennials are twice as likely to experience severe stress and 1.8 times more likely to develop severe anxiety compared to the older generation. And this is not to say that Generation Z has it any easier. In fact, the likelihood of these experiences are much higher in their age group. Despite these issues, many believe that hybrid or remote work is here to stay. We see many reasons why. For employees, definitely, there's a reduction in expenses, increased productivity, and having based on skills instead of location. For businesses, there's also a reduction in expenses and then access to more competitive talent pool as they can hire virtually from anywhere. Customers get to interact with the best talent and not just who's able to work in that area. And for the environment, I think we can all agree that pollution is lowered since most of us started working from home. As mentioned, hybrid work arrangements may shape our now normal or next normal, as others would call it. A hybrid work setup is a combination of office and remote work. We see why some employees are willing to go back to work. There's in fact easier coordination among team members. You can easily go up to a coworker to clarify a project detail. Many are also looking forward to reestablishing human connection with peers and superiors. There's some level of comfort in seeing other people face to face. After all, we are social beings. There's also set hours for presence and actual work. Customers and business partners can easily access us on site, and for some, they look forward to a stronger internet connection when they're in the office. But while some employees are willing to go back to on site work, there is still some level of anxiety towards the safety of going back to office spaces. That said, let's look at some of the ways building and property managers can allay the worries of back to office workers. According to Greg Zimmerman, executive editor of FacilitiesNet, facility managers have the formidable task of implementing strategies that not only keep occupants and tenants safe and healthy, but also happy enough with their space that they actually want to go back to the office. And that never before has implementing strategies to benefit occupants' mental health and physical well-being been more critical than now. One way is to focus on occupant experience. Know what works in mitigating the threat of infection. Is it actively reminding office workers to keep their distance, or are floor stickers for guidance usually enough? Next is making them feel more comfortable working in their space. Ensure that all facilities that employees utilize are sanitized more often than ever. Explain with care why measures and safety guidelines are important. Yes, we would like to create strict guidelines to make our occupants feel safe, but at the same time, we also want them to feel welcome and not hindered since they'd be spending most of their day on site. At this time, property managers must be excellent communicators. Get feedback with more frequency. Increased communication and interaction with occupants are the best ways to gauge the occupant experience. And as expected, the building managers are usually the point person for guidelines, safety measures, and updates. Right now, according to Mr. Lance Kness, the president of Building Owners and Managers Association of Chicago, facility managers need to be more visible and accessible than ever. Another way to make occupants feel safe is by being sensitive to their anxiety. Know your occupants' comfort level about on-site work and discuss necessary adjustments the building management can help with. Use technology to facilitate contact tracing and cascading information for low to no contact approach. And regularly communicate safety reminders to let them know that safety guidelines are upheld. I won't be surprised if many, if not all of you, have already been implementing these practices or have extended this consideration for the sake of occupants' health and mental well-being. But as I mentioned earlier, a different, more flexible work arrangement is in the horizon, if not already being adopted by companies. I'm sure many of you are still working with colleagues or counterparts in your head offices or communicating with building occupants who are still working from home. Earlier, we tackled ways to keep our tenants and building employees feeling safe in our buildings. This time, let's zero in on the remote work aspect of a hybrid work setup. As we enjoy the seemingly increased family time working remotely and avoid the tiresome commute to and from work, we also lost the convenience of a quick pep talk with our team members and collaboration. Companies don't easily recognize or see the difficulties and frustrations they may be able to help with. Here we see the top 3 struggles of remote workers around the world, and perhaps most of you have experienced them too. I know I did at some point. It's a good thing that it's possible to leap forward from the mental health struggles our employees, our building occupants, or even we ourselves experience while working remotely through technological advancements. It's true that most of us experience discomfort managing remote work, especially for facility managers like you who could be mostly on site and yet would have to deal with business partners and occupants who are working remotely. Because of this, we end up being challenged in what we need to do. Sometimes we want to clarify or disseminate information in a timely manner, but because not everyone is at the same room or building, effective communication is hindered. Sometimes reports get delayed, and documents suddenly have to be routed a different way. Not to mention the feeling of isolation we all feel, not being able to interact with others in person. While these are real work challenges, there's actually something we can do thanks to the advent of productivity and collaboration tools. I'm talking about the cloud based applications that can allow for smooth, secure communication and collaboration, even if we are at different places. In fact, here at Eastern, we found it helpful that even before the pandemic hit, our systems for productivity and collaboration have already been in place. So essentially, we just transferred physical meetings, discussions, and consultations virtually. These tools allow us for chat or video conferences to simulate face to face meetings. We know sometimes there's a bit of reassurance in seeing other people like coworkers, even just on video. The app that we use allows us to feel we're in the same room wherein we see everyone all at the same time, which alleviates video call fatigue. These virtual meetings and appointments can also be linked up with your calendar so no one gets to miss it. Even our external contacts can attend our meetings and chat with us in the video call chat room. We simply send them a link, and even if they don't have the app on their devices, they get to join the discussion. Imagine needing to conduct a safety briefing for building occupants, some on site and some at home. Just send them a link, and even if they don't have the app, they can attend the briefing on their devices. One other tool in this cloud based solution allows us to work on reports or files at the same time. You can, in fact, see who in the team is working on it the exact moment you're writing on the document. Another thing it can do is help you send links instead of the whole file, which is very helpful as it doesn't use up the rest of your bandwidth. What's more is that with this, we get to adopt sustainability practices because there's no need for us to put it on paper and use up ink and use the printer, as everything is done virtually. There's also a project management tool that allows us to not only monitor the progress of a project, but allows us to assign to a team member and design a workflow. Imagine all these in one unified suite, which could help your team work together with ease and communicate with business partners even when they're at different places. Another top challenge remote workers are dealing with is loneliness. And yes, we hear you. As we also suffer from cabin fever at some point and not being able to see family, peers, and our bosses, we feel alone and isolated from our social life and work life. As we've seen in the numbers I shared in the earlier part of my presentation, many Filipinos have been experiencing stress, anxiety, and depression. Here at Eastern, we found many uses for our existing collaboration apps to help us stay connected even for non-work related activities. Once in a while, our HR team would invite us by way of electronic invitation to participate in a Kahoots quiz game, which we conduct through our video call and chat application. The electronic invite is synced in our calendar so we don't get to miss the event. We have also participated in physical and mental wellness activities such as yoga and other social events like a wholesome dating game last Valentine's Day through a virtual call. I also know some building admins who conducted their Halloween parties for their residential tenants and occupants virtually so the kids and the families can enjoy a wholesome gathering in a safe way. So these events get to give us a sense of comfort, camaraderie, and fun and entertainment even while cooped up at home and we can see each other face to face. Since working from home, has any one of you ever experienced feeling the need to do more since there's no one there seeing you work perhaps? Don't worry, you are not alone as this is a major challenge for remote workers not only in the Philippines but globally. At one point, some of us have lost the sense of break since we didn't need to commute to and from work. If I may share with you, a thing we learned at work is to harness our existing apps to help us manage communication and prioritize our deliverables. Because remember, busy doesn't exactly mean productive. For example, sometimes we get tempted to channel all our communication into one single app, like in an email. While this may look manageable, it's not exactly efficient as it is not designed for collaboration. This is why an email has an inbox and an outbox. It was meant to give a virtualization of our old in trays and out trays. This allows some time for recipients to get back to the sender. So, we can use the email for messages to a targeted number of known people where a few replies are expected. If you would need over 3 replies, then the discussion will have to be taken elsewhere. At Eastern, we are able to prioritize emails that need our urgent attention because team members can use the @ sign, like how we do it in our social media, to call the attention of the person you're directing the email to. This pops up as a notification to alert us that there is a message that needs our immediate attention. At Eastern, we use the chat box in our app to quickly consult anyone from our organization or quickly discuss a few details about projects. If you would need to introduce a new project or initiative with the team, we usually invite them through a video call so project stakeholders can conveniently present and relay ideas real time. Both our chat and video call functions that we use are actually in just one app, and discussions in the chat box while the video conference is happening stays there forever, so everyone can go back and continue the chat discussion anytime. I also receive email reports about the amount of time I spend using these collaboration tools, which gives me a notion of when to take on more work or when to slow down. This helps very much since, like I said, sometimes we just lose sight of how much work we've already done at a particular period. With all these digital advancements, we can find ways to make it a bit easier for all of us as we take on a hybrid work arrangement, which is why I am personally grateful for being in a working environment that supports us and ensure we stay safe, connected, seen, and heard through these technological advancements, whether we're working from home or in our building. Without hubris, I'm happy to share that these collaboration tools have enabled our management to show they care for us in these trying times, as you see in the recognitions Eastern has achieved since last year. Before I end, I'd like to share a quote that proves true for all of us staying at home or working on site. Safety does not happen by accident. We need to have safety measures and tools in place so that we can work and communicate comfortably in the midst of a health crisis. Keeping safe keeps us at ease and keeps us at peace. Thank you everyone for listening, and would be happy to hear your questions later. Back to you, Ivana.
Thank you very much, Miss Diana Montes. That was such an amazing message. I do appreciate when she mentioned kanina na mental and physical health are both critical, especially at this time of the pandemic. And I think we can all relate to what she said about, having that disconnected feeling. I think either you work remotely or you work in a hybrid work setup. I think we all feel that disconnect feeling, probably from our peers, from our colleagues, diba? Yung feeling when we usually miss that feeling of the normal before the pandemic. But yeah, it's just really amazing also how she shared how Eastern Communications can fill in that disconnect and how we can leap forward from all of those challenges that we are experiencing. Again, thank you very much, Miss Diana Montes. And again, if you guys have any questions for Miss Diana, feel free to send them in the comment section below for a live Q&A later happening just a few more minutes. But for now, it's time for our second raffle draw of the day. So for this round, our second batch of lucky winners will also receive 1,000 pesos giveaway vouchers. All right. So we have 3 winners for this round. So remember, again, it's very easy. When you see your name flashed on the screen, take a screenshot and email it to marketing@etpi.com.ph with the subject line Eastern Building Admin Referral Program. And don't forget to include your full name, company, mobile number, and your email address. So here are our winners for the second batch of digital raffle draw. All right, congratulations, Jericho Benavista of Ayala Property Management Corp., Janine Gaitos of 88 Corporate Center, and Ray Cappadocia from Alegria Development Corporation. Congratulations, guys. You all won 1,000 pesos giveaway vouchers each. And guys, don't worry kung hindi pa kayo natawag or if you weren't chosen sa ating raffle draws, don't worry, because later on we still have our major raffle draws coming up. So don't worry. Again, congratulations to all of our digital winners so far. And also, again, reminding everyone to send in your questions. Alam ko, you still have a lot in your mind, a lot of things that you want to ask Miss G and Miss Diana later on. So feel free again to just send your questions and we will answer that or address that as much as we can later on. And now we are going to kick off our live Q&A segment. Please welcome back on your screens Miss Gie Garcia and Miss Diana Montes. Welcome. Hi, Miss Diana. Hi, Miss Gie.
Hi.
So just a reminder again to
Hi.
just a reminder again to everybody, send in your questions addressed to our specific speaker. Again, if you have any questions for Miss Diana or Miss G, kindly put it specifically in your questions, and we'll try to get as many questions as we can, as long as Miss G and Miss Diana still has the energy for today, because they're so excited to accommodate all of your questions. All right, so for our first question, the Q&A segment, wala naman tayo sa pageantry, but I'm pretty sure Miss Diana and Miss G are very much excited to answer our questions. So this question, our first question, would be for the both of you. So the first question is, what measures did your building or your company take to show that they care for you or your occupants' mental well-being? So go ahead, Miss G.
Thank you for that nice question, Ivana. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, hi, Diane. Hi. Besides proper implementation of the safety protocol, NEO applied for a Well and Health Safety Seal from International Well Building Institute. Actually, the purpose is to get that seal so we can assure that our tenants is safe to go back to the NEO buildings. We have met the IWBI's rigorous performance standards and protocols for providing safe and healthy office spaces, which includes the operational and internal policies relating to mental health and well-being. Thus, as mentioned earlier, we were able to get the seal for the portfolio. I think right now the tenants of NEO are more comfortable after we were able to get that seal. So I would say that I would like to encourage majority of the property managers at this point in time to also get that seal. But I believe the local government is also, introducing such a seal for the buildings. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss G. How about you, Miss Diana?
Hi. So for Eastern, we're usually informed and reminded of guidelines for safety when we're in the building. We have to wear our masks and shields and keep our distance, and all our building staff are aware of this and implement this strictly. And you're also given a regular reminder and updates about vaccination in our facilities. We work very, very hard in making sure our building has the necessary spaces, dividers, sanitizers for employees to keep safe. And also, our HR provides webinars about caring for our mental health and resource professionals and doctors that we can reach out to when we feel anxious or need professional guidance for our mental well-being, especially at this time. So
wow, thank you so much, Miss Diana. All right, so next, I really admire that both of you, Miss G and Miss Diana, hold a very, very crucial position or part in each of your companies. And you are both, looking after a lot of people under you, or probably, the entirety of each of your companies. But I just wonder, how do you both handle stress or cope with stress or loneliness at work, especially at this time of isolation? Because I feel like this is something that we can all relate, even if you're just in entry level, parang every one of us really changed our work ethics, our work dynamics have changed drastically in the past year. So how do you guys cope up with stress or loneliness? Do you guys also watch mga Netflix series, or di kaya minsan order ng McDo or something like that? Go ahead, Miss G.
Yeah, thank you, Ivana. Actually, being in the facilities and property management, stress is already part of our, lifestyle. But personally, my dogs kept me happy. They are definitely not stressed. So they're my super buddies, during the entire time that I'm working from home, and Food Panda at the same time. But yeah, I think they're the ones who's really helping me out. Besides the plantita thing, I did that as well. So,
wow.
but I don't know if I was able to, keep it up kasi talagang namamatay the halaman for me.
That's good to know, Miss G. Thank you very much. How about you, Miss Diana? Sorry, hello, Miss Diana. Are you there? I think you are on mute.
Yeah. Hello.
There you go. There you go, Miss Diana. We can hear you.
Um, so there. Okay. Again. Personally, Ivana, I want to keep to myself if, like, let's say I'm having a hard time. I used to always tell
Mhm.
myself, you're an adult and you're supposed to get over it. Or if you cry over it, hindi ka resilient, mahina ka, you're weak. But it's good that the past few years there had been more conversations around the value of mental health, and
Mhm.
so I found there's
Yes.
no shame, yeah, in reaching out to friends and coworkers just to chat or express frustrations and to seek support. And that's why
Mhm.
it's also helpful that our company and facility managers take steps in considering
Mhm.
safety and mental well-being right now.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Miss Diana. I really do appreciate that as well when you talked about it in your speech a while ago, because I think at this time, most people now are very open when it comes to mental health. Because I also do personally advocate for suicide prevention awareness, and yung simpleng kamusta ka sa mga friends natin that we weren't able to chat with for a long time. It's such a good feeling na. I mean, it's very basic, chatting someone, no, kamusta ka na? Pero it gives a huge impact to someone. Now we don't know who's probably going through something. So thank you very much for that. And now we have a specific question for Miss G. Hi, Miss G. So should there be sustainability plans that anticipate depreciation 60 to 100 years ahead? And what will happen now to the buildings when they get very old?
My God, that's a long projection. 60 to 100 years for a building. Do we still have that? Shouldn't that be destroyed already? For well, anyway, in every businesses, depreciation is always a consideration. So you always have to consider depreciation. Basically, it always boils out to maintenance and proper development. Okay, if you do not maintain your building properly, then you don't, even if no matter how new it is, in the next 3 years or 5 years, it's gonna dilapidate. So, even if you have an old building, but you're properly maintaining it, then sustainability and resilience is not a question. Now,
Mhm.
if you're not, into really improving the actual building itself, then don't wait for 60, 100 years, because that's not going
Mhm.
to happen. Like in our case, we have a 20-year-old building. I don't know, Ivana, if you're familiar with
Mhm.
One Neo, that's in
Yes,
Pasig
yes.
Province.
Mhm.
That's 20
Mhm.
years old.
I think that is one of the first buildings that were built in
Yes,
BGC. Yes.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like during that time, it's only One Neo and McDonald's in BGC.
Mm-hmm.
But until now, it's still my favorite building.
Yes,
Amongst
it
the seven,
is.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
amongst the seventh building
And
of,
it's very much well maintained, Miss G. I have been there once or twice for meetings, and it's a very well maintained building. You really can say that it's been there for a long time, because kung ba nakikipagsabayan siya sa mga up and rising buildings,
exactly.
other buildings in BGC actually.
Yeah, that's true, Ivana. So the question whether it can still last for 60, 100 years really depends on the property manager
Mm-hmm.
who's handling the maintenance of that
Mm-hmm.
particular building.
I agree. I agree. Thank you very much, Miss Gie Garcia. And now let's move on to Miss Diana. There's also a specific question for you. So, would you mind sharing, naman, how Eastern adopts sustainability in its day-to-day operations? Hashtag leap forward.
Thanks, Ivana. Well, there are several apps or tools that we use every day to keep working efficiently, which also became part of our sustainable practices. I can think of so many, but for example, we use the Microsoft Teams app for health declaration, as the Eastern Health Declaration app was created using this tool. And then for permit approvals, we use Microsoft Flow. For booking our meeting rooms, for example, we do it via Outlook, and sending of advisories and guidelines to employees are also done in the Microsoft Teams apps. And we also very often use Adobe Sign for paperless routing of documents for signatures. And I think
Mhm.
a lot of companies use the same tool also. And we also have our very own Eastern Cloud, which helped us transition from office work to remote or hybrid work, which I think is a significant
Mhm.
factor and step towards sustainability.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Diana. It's really nice to hear that most of the companies now are very mindful now when it comes to paperless transactions. I think also with Neo, it's just amazing how we are just doing our little steps for a better and greater change for the environment. Thank you again, Miss Diana. And now back to Miss G. Another question for you. So our building is older than most, or probably property manager ang nagtanong nito. So what do you suggest we can invest on that is cost efficient as an initial project to participate in sustainability?
Thank you, Ivana. I think the very first thing that they have to really do is do some data gathering. That's the
Mhm.
key measure. Make sure that all your baseline data are accurate. All those data will be your reference when you start the process of being sustainable. Second, before investing on any technology or cost-saving equipment, consider training your people. Key personnel in sustainable development, energy efficiency, and resilience. Kasi they'll be the one who's going to help out. So from there, you can start by tweaking your procedures and policies for the building. The
Mhm.
impact of that savings now become, it will grow to a more sustainable thing. Then when all of these are taken into consideration, then there's still more improvement before you capitalize on and spending money financially.
Mhm. Mhm. All right. Thank you very much, Miss G. And we also have another follow-up question to you, Miss Gino. Ito naman, it's a different topic. And it's stated here that some of the building tenants are already being vaccinated. I think it's connected with what's happening right now. So what are the basic safety protocols kept by Neo buildings now that, some are being vaccinated already? Or should we keep all safety protocols as when the pandemic was at its peak? Or I think this question suggests if meron bang changes now that medyo relax na yung quarantine setup natin in the country.
No, as far as Neo is concerned, it's still not the end of pandemic. I think it will be a year or two before we can be able
Mm-hmm.
that unless otherwise the country gets its herd immunity. So with that said, I think we will continue on the existing or even improve to ensure that our tenants' health and safety is there. On the top of the following health experts, the guidelines, we have to still follow that from the IATF, the recommendations from international and national level. Let's not
Mm-hmm.
relax because the moment that we
Mm-hmm.
start relaxing, then it will gonna be a catastrophe again. You know. Again, pandemic is not yet done.
Yes.
So
Thank
let's not
you.
relax. Yeah. And
I
I mean,
definitely
Ivana,
agree.
vaccine, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
expert says that vaccine is not a guarantee that you're not going to have COVID. You're still going to have
Yes.
COVID.
Mm-hmm. Really just a prevention.
Yes, it's
So
just a
yes, I definitely agree with you, Miss G Garcia. Next up, no, to Miss Diana naman, we learned so much about the collaboration apps that you mentioned earlier, and I think that really excited everyone here who probably haven't heard of it before. So, would you say that transitioning from on-site work to working from home was a seamless experience for you, given that you are using these collaboration apps that you mentioned also earlier?
Thanks, Ivana. Well, definitely there was a bit of an adjustment since we're so used to seeing our coworkers in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? But work-wise, as I mentioned earlier in the examples, we're able to work on files and documents naman together at the same time or even individually at our preferred time since each of us has his own set of assignments also. So what we do is agree on our deadline on when we should include all our contribution in a single document before we meet again. So this allows for flexibility for all of us on our end and it's less stressful actually.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I agree. Ms. Dana, this one is a personal question. I just wonder because there is always like what you mentioned earlier, no, when it comes to meetings or any group activity in the office, and if it's done remotely, it can really affect the workload or like dynamics in the group. Do you have any specific tips or any advice or to any executives or any team leader that they can also implement when it comes to that? I think most of team leaders are having a hard time when it comes to leading their team, especially when they really don't see them in person. But with you, what's your strategy or any tips that you can advise to the team leaders who are having a hard time right now?
I see. So I think what you're driving at is how leaders can monitor their team members'
Mm-hmm,
work,
mm-hmm,
right? All right. But actually, well, based on the remote work best practices, there should be a clear agreement between the employer or management and
mm-hmm.
the employee on the remote work setup guidelines. This should include the duration or schedule an employee is to work from home, and how the deliverables are to be monitored, and other terms, so that both parties know what to expect from each other to make remote work an effective arrangement. And if I may share with you, in Eastern, the way we get to be monitored remotely, we're supposed to log in our health declaration first thing in the morning as part of our attendance. Then there's really not much need to keep tab on people because all of us are reachable
Mm-hmm.
through the Microsoft Teams chat, which also indicates if one is at a meeting or away from the computer or is online. And each of us, recognize our own accountabilities because files are made available to us through our OneDrive, where we get to share
Mm-hmm.
files. So this way, we get to function based on trust and expected output.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Diana. Now we move back to Miss G again. I think a lot of our viewers are very much inspired by the sustainability that you guys do in Neo. So
Yeah.
sustainability has been an ongoing movement for real estate development in the past few years, here and abroad. So what do you think, Miss G, is the main challenge of buildings in the Philippines right now when it comes to practicing sustainability?
Ivana, you're gonna laugh if you're gonna hear me. I always keep on saying this every time they're gonna ask me about it. I would always say it's the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the mindset is changed. So I think that mindset of the mindset and the myth that operating a green building will entail big amount of capital expense.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Mm-hmm.
there's an issue of advocacy also and support from the top management. Of course, even if you're sustainably, if you're an advocate and there's no support from the top management, then that's going to be an issue as well. You see, unless the mindset of the management and the personnel of the building changes to being sustainable and resilient, then even if you spend millions of
Mm-hmm.
money for technology, it wouldn't work. So the end effect will not be as significant. Since I
Mm-hmm.
always go back to my earlier recommendations to invest on training of key personnel first so they can roll it out to the staff and then create an environmental sustainability and mindset direction. So from there, then you can last.
Yes.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
easy just to say that we're a sustainable building. There are a lot of aspects that you have to. It has to be
Yes. Mm-hmm.
a holistic thing, not only just
Mm-hmm.
can do that.
Mhm. Yes, it has to be a collaborative effort, kumbaga. And I think our next question is related to that, Miss G. So our next question is, while we as building managers can initiate sustainability, is it possible to involve our tenants too, like what you said earlier? So what's the best way now to make them participate in this goal?
Oh yes, definitely, and it will have a bigger impact if we do include our tenants in any endeavor that we do for sustainability. Like in NEO, we raise awareness to our events and outreach activities. The events and activities aim to educate our tenants on what steps that they can go towards sustainability, whether big or small, and the impact taking and not taking those steps. I can mention an example of which is when we hold the coastal cleanup together with
Mm-hmm.
WWF, and some volunteers from our tenants to help clear the plastic waste from the coast of Las Piñas and Parañaque, critical habitat and ecotourism area. Seeing firsthand the effect of patronizing single-use plastics is a game changer because
Mm-hmm.
after that event that we organized, or the organizers of the event from NEO, we saw a big reduction on our waste, not only on single-use plastic, but also on general waste. So there was really a big
Mm-hmm.
impact in joining all these tenants in these endeavors. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you very much, Miss G. That's really inspiring. I think not all or probably most of the building owners or the property managers are not really they don't really have the full grasp of what it's really like to pursue sustainability. I think hindi pa lahat aware with the effects and causes of climate change, and it's really nice that you're also spearheading this sustainability awareness or advocacy when it comes to property management from Neo. Thank you very much. So now we have another question. This one is for the both of you, but Ms. Diana, I want you to go ahead first. What technological advancement has helped you deal with your mental health?
Oh, for me, definitely video call and chat apps
Mhm.
very much.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So
Mhm.
it helped me stay connected and updated with what's going on around me, and allowed me to check up on family and friends and even coworkers.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh-huh.
That's right. I also want to know, Miss Diana, is there anything naman that you do like personally, like in your own me time, kumaga, when it comes to taking care of your mental health?
What I do personally,
Yes, like personally, yes. Mm.
well, I try to keep my work time within a set time. I mean, as much as possible. If I can, I don't go. I don't have to. I don't. I tell myself I don't need to work overtime because
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like the trend. When we started working from home, we take on more work because nobody's watching us. Nobody's no boss seeing us work, and so we feel the need to work more and and to prove more because everything now is really output based, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
we feel that pressure. So what I do
Mm-hmm.
is I really keep a set time for work, really
Mm-hmm.
time manage. But there are times that you have no choice but to work a little bit more than
Yes.
as
Mm-hmm.
much as
Mm-hmm.
possible. I don't. And when I'm with family members or with actually just family members because I can't really leave,
Mm-hmm.
I really try to stay present, and not think about work because
Mm-hmm.
whatever we do, whatever's happening in our mental health, it also affects the people around us. So we also have to be very conscious about that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thank you, Miss Diana. I think what you shared is also relevant to our next question to you. When you mentioned na there's also bad effects when it comes to overworking, kumbaga. So this question, our virtual meetings run long and it gets tiresome as sometimes we attend multiple meetings a day. Ayan na nga ba sinasabi natin, overwork. So what do you recommend, Miss Diana? Um, what do you recommend we do when we still need to discuss projects with different teams naman?
Right. I think you're right. No, I think a lot of us relate to this concern very much.
Mm-hmm.
So what I can recommend is identify if you really need a virtual meeting, like if it's just an update on the task assigned during the previous meeting. You can check if this can be covered by simply sending an email. Or if a meeting
Mm-hmm.
cannot be avoided, you can make efficient use of the time by coming up with a clear agenda. And then you can assign roles as to who will lead the meeting, who will take down notes, and who will take on certain tasks as you go on with the discussion. And for status update meetings, which are very, very crucial, especially now that we're working separately, this can be managed by emailing first the updates or a pre-read, as we call it,
Mm-hmm.
and the proposed next steps, and inform the
Mm-hmm.
attendees specifically that a meeting will only be set to address questions or clarifications about the project. So that way, meetings don't have to run very long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's so good, Miss Diana. I hope everyone is taking down some notes because it's such a good strategy. It's such a wise tip from Miss Diana. Now back to Miss G. You mentioned earlier about the cost na hindi natin maiiwasan if you really want to pursue the sustainability aspect of being a property manager. So this question goes: the main challenge for most is the notion that energy efficient solutions and strategies design will increase construction of operational cost. So what is the most effective way to enhance people's awareness about energy consumption in buildings? Dahil medyo pricey daw, Miss G.
Yun nga yung sinasabi ko. I always say that you're jumping already ahead of the situations when you want to. There's always this notion that it's always expensive. Majority of the strategies for being energy efficient is based on proper planning and design. Putting too much emphasis on technology will also have a negative impact in the long run. Kasi when designing, it's more important to consider the long-term effect of the technology and the operational cost for parts or unit replacement. For all you know, such installation is more expensive than savings from the generated, generated income as compared to the conventional installations that we did, where you can have a minimal savings annually, but in the long run is more sustainable operationally and financially. So I would always suggest that before diving into any purchases, technological advancement, always have a baseline and what they want to have or to achieve annually or in the future. Always look at the
Mm-hmm.
replacement cost, parts cost, etc., maintenance cost. Because like as I said earlier, if you purchase it expensive because it's energy efficient, in the long run, 3 years from now or 4 years from now, you'll have to replace it. So it's not going to be as
Mm-hmm.
anymore. So and
Mm-hmm.
also it's not as sustainable. You're adding to the carbon footprint at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. Thank you very much, Miss G. Now we're jumping back to Miss Diana. Miss Diana, you know what? When I was reading your credentials, I was just blown away with all of the studies that you have made for your career, specifically with cybersecurity. And this next question is also connected to that. You mentioned that with the tools that you use for work, many people can view and work on a document. And the question is this safe? Because I'm afraid it might get leaked.
Okay, thanks, Ivana. To answer that question, yes, it is safe, particularly with OneDrive, which is the app that we use. So you can choose who you permit to access the document, if only the people in your organization or anyone you sent the link to. So you can even select if they're only allowed to view it or modify the document. And you can also add the password for this document for added
Mm-hmm.
security and even assign the length of availability of the document on the OneDrive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so true. Miss Diana, a personal question. Do you have any advice when it comes to like the passwords that we use probably in our email or in any shared document that we have in our workplace? What I don't want to ask what type of password kasi baka madaling hulaan. But what do you suggest, when it comes to curating our own passwords, which I think is also very crucial when it comes to like when you talk about safety.
What you can do is I know it's always ideal to have a different password for every account.
Yes, that's what I heard.
Yes,
The
that's really
better down a different
quite hard
passwords.
to remember. So one thing we learned is that you can make it easier to remember even if it's different for different accounts.
Mm-hmm,
What
yes.
you
Mm-hmm.
use is a familiar or a familiar phrase to you that's not so popular with everybody. Like
Mm-hmm.
let's say I like I like eating wasabi or something, and then add the different characters. And if it's something that's
Mm.
that personal to you, and the characters make the characters personal to you and unique. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, the longer it is, then the more reliable it is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you want to keep it to a length, then please you can use a personal phrase with added characters, no? So,
Mm-hmm.
nakakatulong siya para hindi siya agad mahulaan. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
tendency nga of many, di ba, yung gamitin yung
Yes.
boyfriend or ng asawa or birthdays of everybody. That's really not ideal because other people can get a hold of these information
Mm-hmm.
and use it to access your accounts.
Mm-hmm. All right, noted, Miss Diana. We'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much. And now we have our last question addressed to Miss G. Miss G, the question goes: can an older building be Verde certified to like neo buildings, or are they reserved for green buildings built from the ground up?
No, 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 definitely not. Yes, they can be, as I mentioned earlier, our oldest building, One Neo, is almost 20 years old. During that time, green building is not even a consideration. It's not even a pub to all building owners. Now it's already a pub. So despite that, One Neo is still got a five-star Barrett certification from for operations. So yes, it is possible as long as your operations policies are aligned to Verde's rating scheme. But I do really encourage old buildings to take Verde. because that is one of the steps that they can actually see if their building are sustainable.
All right. Thank you, Miss G. And I think that's all the time that we have for today. For all of your questions, again, thank you very much, Miss G Garcia and to Miss Diana Montes for sharing your knowledge and providing all of our viewers today with the insights that they need to leap forward into the now normal. I know that we still want to learn more and we don't want them to go yet. But guys, before we end, of course, you're not gonna avoid this time for our experts to share a few parting words to our audience. Go ahead, Miss G.
Okay, Ivana, thank you so much, Ivana. Thank you everyone for attending this. Eastern, thank you so much. I just wanted to have an encouragement to all the property managers, facilities managers that are listening at this time. Don't mind how old your buildings are. No matter how old they are, they can always be sustainable. Do not just aim for being certified or getting a seal or whatever. Just make it as just make it as your advocate, okay? For our children, for the future. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss G Garcia. And of course, Miss Diana Crizel Montes.
Thanks, Ivana. And thank you also, Miss G, for being here with me. And it's quite a pleasure for me to be speaking alongside you this afternoon. What I'd like to say to our attendees this afternoon is that let's not be complacent, even if some of us have already been vaccinated, because we share different levels of anxiety and sentiments about being outside or going back to our offices. And it would help to be conscious about this to show our consideration for others. And as part of our Eastern's high touch values, we'd like to share with you all, property managers, building managers, and the facility managers who joined us today, the Eastern's Building Admin Referral Program. So this aims to extend an opportunity for buildings to enjoy incentives as we all work towards full recovery. The process is quite easy and straightforward. The building admins may register under this program with their designated account manager in your area. And for every successful service installation, the account manager will facilitate the provision of a gift reward to benefit the building admin office. Eastern requires no exclusivity for this program, and you may, of course, recommend all service providers in your building to your tenants and occupants. For more information about this program, our designated Eastern account manager for your area is more than willing to assist you. You may also contact them directly through the numbers you see on your screen. So let me just give you a moment to capture this slide on your phones. All right. And because I've shared about the wonders and ease of business brought about by our productivity and collaboration tools, we want you to experience the same convenience by offering you a free 30-day trial of Microsoft 365. All you have to do is simply contact your Eastern account manager for further details. And finally, we're also thrilled to share with you a 30-day trial for our Eastern Cloud service. All you have to do is capture the QR code you see on the screen to register. So there, and once again, thank you all, and thank you so much, Ivana, for being our wonderful host, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Miss Diana Montes, and also to Miss G Garcia of NEO. Again, guys, I hope you're all inspired and just moved by their messages for today. And again, if your questions wasn't answered, don't worry. You can send them in any way so Eastern Communications can reach out to you after this webinar in case you want to learn more from them. And now we will be doing our major digital raffle draw. I know most of you are waiting for this. And for this major raffle draw, the winner will be receiving 3,000 pesos gift away voucher. Wow. So again, it's very easy. When you see your name flashed on the screen, just take a screenshot and email it to marketing@etpi.com.ph with the subject line Eastern Building Admin Referral Program. And don't forget also to include your full name, your company, mobile number, and email address. All right. So our major raffle winners are... Congratulations, Randy Ramos and Jones Lang Lasal. You both walk away with 3,000 pesos giveaway vouchers each. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you once again to Miss Gie Garcia and Miss Diana Montes. And of course, thank you to all of you for taking time and participating here at Leap Forward. And as a special treat for all of our participants, you will be receiving a giveaway voucher from Eastern Communications. Just please answer the post-event survey form that will be sent to you via email or using the QR code in the chat box to claim your special token. So make sure to look forward to our future sessions as Eastern Communications continues to inspire and uplift business owners across the country by tackling another challenge that businesses face in the now normal. Together, we can take that leap into a strong tomorrow for your company. Thank you again, mga ka-Eastern, for participating in Leap Forward Business Empowerment for the now normal. My name is Ivana Pasis. Thank you po and ingat tayong lahat. Bye!